Today I'm going to demonstrate for you the components of Theory Analysis Paper 2. As in the Theory Analysis Paper 1 that you have just completed, the goal of this assignment is for you to compare and contrast comparative politics meta-theoretical approaches as applied to a specific observed phenomenon. The structure of this paper is exactly the same as the structure of the first paper, with the only exception being that you are using comparative politics meta-theoretical approaches rather than the international relations meta-theoretical approaches. For this demonstration, I'm going to compare and contrast two comparative politics theoretical approaches and conduct an analysis as to which approach best explains the currents of Arab Spring beginning on 18 December 2010. As with the first paper, we expect you to follow the basic of essay structure as shown in two different ways here when you navigate this particular writing assignment. The length of the paper is 3 to 4 pages if you are in Professor Assal's class, and 4 pages if you are in Mr. Sin's class. The paper should be double-spaced and have 1-inch margins all around. Additionally, the paper should be typed with either Arial 10 font or Times New Roman 12 font. Now that we've got the administrative items out of the way, let's discuss what should be included in the content of the paper. In your introduction paragraph, we expect to see a thesis statement where you state which theory you believe explained the phenomenon under examination better. Your second paragraph should discuss the fundamental propositions of the first theory of your choice. The third paragraph should discuss the fundamental propositions of the second theory of your choice. The fourth paragraph applies the propositions of the first theory to the phenomenon under examination. Likewise, the fifth paragraph applies the propositions of the second theory to the phenomenon under examination. The sixth paragraph evaluates the two competing explanations provided by two theories, and the seventh paragraph is your conclusion, where you restate and reaffirm your thesis statement. For the rest of this discussion, I'm going to demonstrate to you how these paragraphs might look like. The demonstration, however, will use quick examples rather than more in-depth analysis for two reasons. One, I don't think you want to watch the video clip that runs for longer than 5 minutes. And two, your paper is only 4 pages long, so you have to be very judicious on what information you choose to present and what not to present and still get your point across clearly. For this demonstration, we are going to assume that the topic of the paper is to explain which comparative politics theoretical approach best explains why people rebel, in this case, the Arab Spring. Scholars have been studying why men rebel for quite some time, and this relatively rare phenomenon can be explained via several different comparative politics theoretical approaches. Of all the comparative politics theories, political opportunity structure, hailing from the structural approach, and self-interest, hailing from the rational choice approach, are the two perspectives that best explains why men rebel. In this paper, I argue that political opportunity structure, or the structural theoretical perspective, better explains the occurrence of Arab Spring. Please note that in this introduction, I started broadly and quickly focused in on the thesis statement. I started by saying there are several theories that can explain why men rebel. Then I immediately narrowed it down to 2 theories, and then I stated directly which theory has more explanatory power. And yes, this is exactly what we are expecting on your paper. Your introduction paragraph should be between 3 to 6 sentences, depending on your writing style. If you have more than 6 sentences for your introduction paragraph, you have gone too far and you are off the proverbial reservation. Your first 2 body paragraphs, 1 paragraph per theoretical approach, will be devoted to describing the 2 comparative politics theoretical approaches that you will be applying to the phenomenon under examination. So here is what this portion of the paper might look like. The fundamental point of the structural approach is that it is the structure that drives the outcome of the world. This means structure also defines opportunities and constraints of the world. This approach argues that just because one has a reason to rebel does not mean he or she will, as long as there is no opportunity to do so. This lack of opportunity is a result of constraints set by the institutions of the society, which defines the structure. This means that as long as the institutions that enforces a certain structure or constraints is intact, there is not an opportunity within that structure to try to start changing the structure, and thus the society. At the core of rational choice is agency of the individual. Rational choice argument is that people will do what is in the best interest of themselves, whether as an individual or as a group. Therefore, when one conducts a cost benefit analysis and sees that it is more beneficial to take action, the people will then do so.